fairly stable on the table, he should be okay. Because we're only going to be doing this isometrically, there's no movements against gravity. If you want to do this with the patient supine, you can do that as well. So the patient position isn't as important as the elbow position and the way that you're actually going to apply the resistance. So what I'm going to get you to do is bring your elbow just bent like this. You're going to keep your arm in at your side like that. Palm up. I'm just going to push down like this. I want you to let me know if you feel any pain or discomfort. I'm going to keep pushing until either you can't hold it anymore or I can't push any harder. And let me know if anything feels off. So your elbow in.
I think we'll see better if you do it on the other side.
You're right, you will. Sorry. You want to take that off? Okay. I will quickly demonstrate this though. So this hand here, I'm going to put around the elbow, kind of pinning into the side there just to provide a little bit of support so when I'm pushing down, we don't have his arm flailing all over the place. Over here, I want to push just on the distal wrist. So I'm going to make sure that I'm not on his hand, that I'm actually properly on the forearm. I'm going to do my best not to squeeze his wrist and just kind of push straight down like this, but I'm going to try to push on the flat of the forearm so that I'm not squeezing any bones together, doing anything uncomfortable. So just keep your elbow bent like this. Don't let me move it. Hold it there. Hold it. Good, 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 good. Okay. And I'm going to keep pushing until he starts letting go a little bit. You're going to compare one side to the other side. Again, the grade is either strong or weak, and you're always getting information about whether there's any pain or discomfort. And if they say yes, you are always asking where. Pretty simple. Any questions? So that we don't have to move him around, hand positioning is going to be almost identical for the elbow extensors. I'm going to keep him here, except this time I'm just going to shift my hand around so I'm pulling up against the elbow. Here you might need to provide a little bit of counter pressure to keep his elbow from moving forward or backwards. But again, as long as I've got my hand here, I can make sure that we're not moving things around too much. This time I'm going to pull up. If I can keep my elbow in at my side, bend my legs a little bit so I'm kind of helping with my legs as opposed to just my arm against his arm, it is useful. So keep your elbow in like this. I'm going to pull up. Let me know if you feel any pain or discomfort. Don't let me move you here. Okay, so keep it. Good. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Good. Okay. Again, if I lowered the table a little bit there, if I needed to help with my legs a little bit more, that would be all right. Those two relatively simple. Any questions? Okay. For the forearm pronation and supination, again, it can be done in this position. I could have him lie supine, or I could sit him in a chair and have his arm up on the edge of the table like you're going to see in the videos for the manual muscle testing. The only main difference between the manual muscle test and what we're doing for risom here is going to be the position of the forearm. So for the resisted isometric testing, we're going to keep the forearm in neutral. For the manual muscle testing, we are going close to the end of the range. They're going to full end range, and we're coming just slightly out of that range. In terms of the hand position, there's multiple different ways you can do it, but when you're testing the forearm musculature, the biggest problem is getting a grip on the forearm that allows you to provide a twist on the forearm without twisting the skin like we used to do to each other when we were kids, okay? The other thing you want to be really careful of is that if you squeeze on the palmar and dorsal side of the arm like this, so you're squeezing on both bones at the same time, you can squeeze very hard with most people and not have any pain or discomfort. If, however, I squeeze on the sides like this, so I'm squeezing the two bones together, it can be very uncomfortable even with only a little bit of pressure. So my preferred hand position is I will link my fingers together like this and squeeze with both palms together and then turn. Okay? So you're going to keep your elbow in at your side. If you want to have the patient hold their own arm in at the side like this so you're not pulling their arm in and out in terms of moving the shoulder around, you can. I'm going to try to turn your wrist like this. So if I'm turning him into supination, that means I am testing his pronators. I'm going to try to turn like that. Don't let me move you, okay? Keep it there. Hold it. Hold, hold, and relax, okay? Keep in mind here that if I start turning hard enough and my hands start sliding around the sides, which is quite realistic, at that point I might start doing something that's uncomfortable, okay? So, don't keep twisting to the point where you do start twisting skin. You do potentially start squeezing the sides of the bones. And again, if they feel any pain or discomfort, ask them where. And if they say, well, where you were squeezing my wrist, again, yes, I might have been squeezing too hard. I might have given you something uncomfortable, but at least I wasn't reproducing any pain that would indicate that a contractile tissue is potentially at fault. This time I'm going to turn this way, so I'm turning him into pronation, which means that I'm testing his supinators. Okay? So I'm going to turn that way. Don't let me move you. Keep it there. Hold it. Hold. Hold. Good. And relax. Okay? Don't be surprised if you can't break the patient's hold with this one. So usually people are fairly strong with that, and it is hard to get a good grip. With flexion and extension, as long as you position your body properly, you should be able to break most people's hold, particularly if you can get your body weight and your legs involved. As I said, can you just line it back for a second? All of this can be done equally in supine, so particularly if there's any issues in terms of the patient's balance, or if you just already have them in supine after testing range of motion, by all means, do the resisted isometric testing in this position as well. Hand position might change a little bit for forearm pronation and supination, but it really just depends on which side you're holding from. For flexion and extension, obviously it can be done exactly the same way. Okay, so the patient position is less important than the actual movements that you're doing. And again, always make a point of asking whether there's any pain or discomfort. Gradually apply the push. Okay, so allow the muscles to engage before you start diving fully into it. And then over the course of 1 or 2 seconds, you are gradually ramping up that push. If you start pushing as hard as you can't break the hold, then slowly back off as well. So over the course of 1 or 2 seconds, so you're not just letting go and having the person jerk all over the place.